How's it going, guys? It's Mr. Lone Wolf, and today I've got all the toy locations on Roadcraft. I was overtaking this guy, clipped him, and he smashed into that. That's what he gets. Yeah, 36 toy locations, and then I've also got 8 Warhammer barrel locations, so 680 grand between all of them. I had a bit of a glitch. You'll see when I sell them, it pops up the achievement, growing up, selling all the toys. When I originally did that, my internet had cut out. Get yourself a load, by the way. He's goddamn professional. So it didn't count them, and then when I quit and reloaded, did it again. It seems to have given me like 7 extra ones because I delivered 7 at that point. So that's why mine says toys sold 43. Also, apparently, you don't have to sell all 36. You can, like, say, get 5 off a map, reset the map, get another 5. You just have to sell 36 in total. There's none on Precipice or Aftermath because they don't have construction zones to be able to sell them. So, first one, in Comunicado. You can see all the red exclamation marks, that's where they are. So there's 5 on this map. And I suppose start from the top. The top right, really. There's a lake here with an overturned rail car. There's one sat on there. Number 2, this one is sat on top of a digger. It's pretty easy to find because it makes you build this road as part of the game, so you can sort of see it in the background pretty easily. Number 3 is not too far away. It's in the scrapyard. There's basically these 2 blue cranes. The most southern one, it's like opposite that basically, just sat in the scrap there. Yeah, a bit of a sneaky one because it kind of blends in with all the scrap. And then bottom left of the map, there's a couple of houses down here. They're kind of like a few houses sat opposite each other. In the back garden, next to there's that green swinging bed. It's just kind of in front of that. And then number 5 on this map. So you've got the quarry here that it makes you do various missions. And there's a little yard just south of it. It's on top of that red cargo container. So yeah, that's all 5 on Incommunicado. There's just a little overview at the end. Next one is Sunken. For some reason, it's not bringing up the markings I've put on the map. But starting, there's 3 barrel locations on here as well, which I've marked with the yellow flags. But the first toy is at that Lantevkin Castle. Yeah, there's one sat there. Second one is in Montyville. There's a vehicle sat on top of that building there. You can see that one pretty easily. And then over on the southern island that you start on, really, there's one here in the was it Saldemar's quarry. You have to do the mission first, really, to drain the quarry, because it's underwater at that point. You can see it, but it just makes it a lot easier if you get that done. Number 4 is at the flooded village. It's in this building. It's kind of like to give you a perspective of where it is. There's the bridge it makes you build across the river. Go down that road, there's that building, there's like a roundabout sort of next to it, and it's got bank written on it. The toy is actually like underneath, so you can't see it from the bird's eye view. It's basically like on the ground floor where you can see that red beam. Yeah, but it makes it a difficult one to find because unless you kind of spot it, you won't really see it just scanning over on the bird's eye view. And then the fifth one, sorry, is in this building. It's just down the road from where you start the game at the tunnel exit base. And yeah, I used a big crane to just reach over and grab it. But in theory, you can knock that wall down and then drive like a little scout vehicle up there and grab it that way as well. And then for the 3 barrel locations, one of them is also over here in Lantevkin Castle. It's in among those barrels. They're like a green barrel, a Warhammer barrel, but when you look on the stuff, it'll flash yellow, not blue or purple or whatever like the scrap stuff does. Number 2 is in the port, kind of near the construction zone. There's a load of scrap on that roof, and one of them is another Warhammer barrel. And then the 3rd and final one on this map, Sunken, is over here next to the lighthouse. You can see those barrels spell help, but there's a green Warhammer barrel next to the lighthouse. But you have to build a bridge to get over here. I believe the bridge only cost me like 4 concrete slabs, so nothing too crazy. Yeah, if you kind of come across that road, there's a little road kind of weaving through there. You don't want to turn up there because you won't be able to get it. Yeah, follow the little road and, like I say, bring some slabs with you so you can build the bridge. Sometimes the clouds try and stop you from being able to build a bridge to the other side, so you have to get pretty close to the edge for the clouds to uncover for you to be able to reach the bridge over. Next map is Deluge, and again, all the exclamation marks, 5 of them. Yeah, so on this map you've got mainly 3 in the top right hand corner. The first one, we'll go to this one. There's a house kind of sat outside the lake, and it's on the porch at the front there, so it's pretty easy to see that one. Number 2 is at this production facilities. It's sat on that little pile of things there. You kind of have to bring a crane over that wood. It's worth getting a large crane because the building wall's quite tall and the little crane won't reach over. Third one is like there's a section of water there, weird rock patterns, but there's a toy truck sat on the middle rock. It's quite a tall rock, so you should be able to see it once you're there. And then 2 to the south of the map. One of them is at the sand quarry. At the top of the hill, there's a digger thing sat in the sand pit there. And then the last one really, it's just north of the steel beams facility. It's kind of like a good reference point. And it's sat on the roof there. The water does get a little deep. I think at some point you do drain the water for emission. It lowers it a little bit. But yeah, it's sat on the smaller roof of that building. And again, just a little overview if you just want to see where the red exclamation marks are. Next up, Sojurn. There's 6 on this one. Again, red exclamation marks, and you can see where they are. Oh, Kelly, she likes to say swallowed by one every time I load this map up. Yeah, so your starting base is there, so I'll start down here. It's at the South Canyon Resort. It's kind of, you can't see it from a bird's eye view. It's just tucked under there on a pile of wood. It's pretty easy to see because it makes you do a mission over there. Second one is on those little piers or docks or whatever at the Blue Water Yacht Club. Number 3 is at the Karst Collapse, and it's actually on top of this rock. There's the river lock. If you drive down this little road in a scout, it's like a jump and you can land on there, which is easier to grab it. Otherwise you'll probably have to bring a big crane to be tall enough to reach the top of the rock. Number 5 is in this kind of oil slick patch. There's a toy truck sat on top of that building. Or sorry, that might have been number 4. Apologies, this is number 5. Yeah, there's like a big giant crater here, and it's just sat like in the middle of those islands. Again, bird's eye view, it's pretty easy to see once it starts flashing yellow. And then the last one, this one's a bit trickier. There's a load of little islands over to the right hand side of the map. The truck itself is sat on that sand and it's pretty easy to see, but it may be hidden in clouds if you've not gone far enough over. I got to this island, and then I've put sand there now. I believe I actually drove to the second island. The next bit's a bit deeper, so you have to like put sand on. You end up putting sand all around the island and all sorts. Yeah, I think I drove across the first half of the water without needing anything, but then the second half was like, yeah, the water's too deep, so I brought a dump truck and started putting sand all over the place, and then yeah, lap round, it's on top of that sand pile. Pretty stands out quite obviously. Yeah, and that's 6 of them on Sojurn. Next up, Sandswept, and on this one there is 6 toys and 3 barrels. So the 6 red exclamation marks and then 3 yellow flags for the barrels. Yeah, it's just like a bit of an overview. Starting off in the top right really, because your starting base is there. So you've got one sat on that broken piece of bridge that's sitting in the water. You've got one here at Tifletown. It's basically opposite the petrol station. There's like a little hill here to climb up, and it's on the lower part of that building. You deliver a safe there, so you end up pretty much driving right past it at some point. Yeah, like I say, opposite the petrol station. Number 3 is on this Elamir Palace looking thing. You need a tall crane for this one. It's up there, but it's on the wall, and it's too tall for the smaller cranes. Number 4 is over here, just north of the river base, in the sand quarry, and it's just sat there next to like those 4 containers or whatever they are. Number 5 is over here. There's a central radio tower. You end up fixing that, and the toy truck is sat on top of that blue thing that's also for sale. That flashes yellow as well, I believe. And then number 6, bottom middle of the map, there's like a deserty bit, and there's an oasis in the middle. There's a British telephone box, and then there's a truck sat just behind that wall there. And then for the 3 Warhammer barrels, there's one, you can see like a ruin there, and there's a Warhammer barrel sat just there. You can see it flashing yellow. I've not grabbed that one yet. Kind of, yeah, near the port, bottom leftish of the map. Barrel number 2 is near where this one is, at the central radio tower, just slightly north. There's a barrel flashing yellow there in between the rocks. And then the last one is over in the bottom right hand corner. There's like a crashed plane wreckage, and it's actually just tucked under the plane, so you can just about see it in the bird's eye view if it's flashing yellow, but it's a bit of a tricky one because it is hidden under the plane a bit. Yeah, again, just kind of an overview if you just want to have a quick look where the red exclamation marks are. And then Colonel, the last one, again, apologies, it doesn't show up all the points I've put on this little map overview. I'll go on it and show you. There's 9 in total on this map, quite a lot. Apologies if you heard that, it's my phone dinging. Yeah, and there's 2 Warhammer barrels as well. The first toy truck is over in the top right. There's like a little island there on its own near the boat, and it's just sat on there. Number 2 is in the machine yard, and it's sat on like a pallet of things there. It looks like you'd be able to power that yellow crane up at some point and reach it. It's kind of directly below it, but I never got power to the crane. The third one is on this island, but it's actually like a bit of a bug, and it slips down into the water quite often, and then it doesn't flash yellow. You can see it just through the water, but that's a bit of a tricky one. Thanks to Dan Stepanov for letting me know about that one. Reaching down, so you're just south of the base you start from, really, the tunnel exit base. There's a toy truck sat on the beach there. Again, tall cranes for most of these, really. Be recommended. This one, there is a toy truck sat there on the island. There was also a tree on this island, but the mission Ruin a Beautiful Thing was to kill one of those trees on a little island. Bit of a weird, obscure achievement. Next one, just northwest of the logistics terminal, there's a toy truck sat on that little island on its own. Again, thanks to Dan Stepanov for that one. Down here, kind of radio tower, bottom left of the map really, you approach from the south, there's a barge and it's just on the other side of that, again a long crane because the short one doesn't reach. And then we've got another down here, kind of sat on an island on its own next to the warehouse. And again, I think mine was up there, but sometimes it can slip down on the rocks and that as well. I didn't need to do it, like I just cut across that shallow bit of mud you can see there in the bird's eye view. It goes pretty deep there, but the vehicle just didn't drown. And then the last one, north of the dry stone base you unlock, just to the right of those 6 geysers, there's a toy truck sat on top of that rock there. And then for the Warhammer barrels on this map, there is 2 up here. It's a bit like they're 2 just next to each other. It's a bit awkward to climb up there. I used the Lynx. I definitely recommend that's like a pretty decent vehicle for doing it. I crossed the cargo containers, went round the north of that tower, and then climbed up here, but you've got a couple of trees you can fire a winch to that help the Lynx climb up the rocks. And then once you got onto that ledge, you either want to go straight up or kind of cut along to the right to the other trees. Again, firing winches out to them helps you step up the ledges. Yeah, either going up there and then again another ledge, more trees, and it's just both of them are next to like that little hut thing really. And yeah, that's it. I believe that is all of them. 36 toys in total and 8 barrels in total that I know of. If you do know of any more, please let me know in the comments and I'll either pin it. I probably won't redo this video. You need 36 to trigger the achievement. And yeah, that is 36 of them. Like I said, I got 43 because I was offline when I loaded these ones. But that's about it for today. I hope that helps. Thanks for watching. Get yourself a loaf because he's a beast, of course. And I'll be back soon.